Hari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jarada Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Shishira Damadava ki, Shishiko Danitai, Mayapur Shashi ki, Shila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, good morning. Thank you for coming for class. And in the beginning as well, we should read from Prabhupada. He built a house in which the whole world can live, by Sasarupa Das Goswami. Prabhupada in every town and village. ISKCON's new Bombay headquarters was a 4-room flat on the 7th floor of Akash Ganga building. Rent was nearly 3,000 rupees a month, and the devotees had no guaranteed monthly income. Yet, because the building was in vital, prestigious location, Prabhupada had taken the risk. Such a headquarters would be a necessary base for preaching he wanted to do in Bombay, and this next preaching would be a grand 11-day Pandal program. If you are going to hunt, Prabhupada said, then you should hunt for a rhinoceros. And that way, if you don't succeed, everyone will simply say, oh, it couldn't be done anyway. But if you do succeed, then everyone will be surprised. Everyone will be amazed. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, the appearance of demon Vritrasura, which is chapter 9, text 50. Swayam Nishreyasam Vidvan. Swayam Nishreyasam Vidvan. Navakti an agyaya karmahi. Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi bhishaktama Vanchatapi bhishaktama Swayam nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi bhishaktama Swayam nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi bhishaktama Swayam nishreya samvidvan karmahi Naratiroginopathyam bhishaktama Swayam nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi Swayam nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi vishaktama Swayam nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi vishaktama. Maybe someone else wants to chant. Okay, Mataji, please. Nishreya samvidvan Navatyagya karmahi Naratiroginopathyam Vanchatapi vishaktama. Swayam personally. Nishreyasam is supreme goal of life, namely the means of obtaining ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With one who accomplished in devotional service. Na, not. Vaki, teachers. Agyaya, unto a foolish person not conversant with the ultimate goal of life. Karma, fruitive activities. He, indeed. Na, not. Rati, administers. Roginaha, unto the patient. Apatyam, something unconsumable. Vanchataha, desiring. Api, although. Pishaktamaha, an experienced physician. Translation. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. Prepared by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Here is the difference between the benedictions awarded by the demigods and those awarded by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Devotees of demigods ask for benedictions simply for sense gratification, and therefore they have been described in Bhagavad Gita 7.20 as bereft of intelligence. Kamaista krita jnana prapadyante nya devata tam tam niyamamastaya prakritya niyata swayam. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Conditioned souls are generally bereft of intelligence because of profound desires of sense gratification. They do not know what benedictions to ask. Therefore, non-devotees are advised in the Shastras to worship various demigods to achieve material benefits. For example, if one wants a beautiful wife, he is advised to worship Uma, or goddess Durga. If one wants to be cured of disease, he is advised to worship the sun god. All requests for benedictions from the demigods, however, are due to material lust. The benedictions will be finished at the end of cosmic manifestation, along with those who bestow them. If one approaches Lord Vishnu for benedictions, the Lord will give him a benediction that will help him return home back to Godhead. This is also confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanchite. Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna instructs a devotee who constantly engages in his service how to approach him at the end of his material body. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yaveti tatvataha tyaktva deha punarjanma naichi mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is the benediction of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. After giving up his body, a devotee returns home, back to Godhead. A devotee may foolish ask for material benedictions, but Lord Krishna does not give him such benedictions, despite the devotee's prayers. Therefore, people who are very attached to material life do not generally become devotees of Krishna or Vishnu. Instead, they become devotees of the demigods. Kamaistai star kritagyana prapadyantenya devataha. The benedictions of demigods, however, are condemned in Bhagavad Gita. Antavat tu phalam tesham tad bhavato alpamedhasam. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. A non-Vaishnava, one who is not engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is considered a fool with a small quantity of brain substance. Optimistic end of the purport. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasaji Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Vishnu Yantah Pravisha Mama Vacha Mamam Prasuktam Sanjivayata Kilashakti Darah Swadhamna Anyamscha Hasta Charana Shravanatva Gadim Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Ajan Lambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtana Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksha Vishwambaro Dujavaro Yuga Dharma Palo Vande Jigat Priyakaro Karunavataro Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahadita Gadadaya Pushpavantao Chitra Shandao Tamandao Hare Krishna. During morning program, while Javatvasi Prabhu was chanting, I just thought that better him continue. No class for Bhagavatam today. And this reminds me one story. Once Indradyumna Maharaj came to UK and he was asked to give a class and the Guru Puja. And Maharaj said, yes, okay, yes, I will give it. And he started a Guru Puja and it was like roaring kirtan, like today. It was the devotees were just running here and there for the whole temple room. They were just driving mad. And kirtan was very roaring. Its story is said by spoken. Shri Kadanyata Mayapur Shashi ki, Shri Tulasinath Maharaj ki, Shri Giridhari Lal Maharaj ki, Shri Ashoda Damodar ki, Shri Sinkadev Bhagavan ki. This story is spoken by Bhaktibringa Govinda Maharaj. And Govinda Maharaj, he's always like, he's an actor. He can just like tell you the story in such a colors that you never just described before. And he's telling that this temple president comes up to Indradyumna Maharaj, and it's roaring kirtan, just everybody's in ecstasy. And he's coming up to him in a very strict manner, and I'm remembering you that it was in UK, so it's just mentality. So he's coming up to Indradyumna Maharaj, tapping him on the shoulder, and says, "Maharaj, now you should give a class." And Indradyumna Maharaj continue kirtan and says, "Prabhu, this is my class." So that's the essence of all classes, all we are practicing, all the vegetables we are chopping, all the prasadam we are cooking, all the deities worship we are doing. It's meant to be that essential, and we should not forget about it. That we should surrender ourselves to the holy name, to Harinam Prabhu, and we should chant it so happily, so blissful, forget about everything. Because the Yuga Dharma of this age is like Kali Yuga Yuga Dharma Namira Prachar. It's to preach the holy names of the Lord. It's loud kirtan to spread as far as wide as it possible all over the world. This chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this should be end of the class. Actually, there's nothing more to say really. That's the essence. That's the topmost of all religious dharma, of everything. But we will continue. Just we need to say something about the verse. Just it's like we need to do that. And yes, and also I just need to mention that it's also said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kali Kala Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. That Krishna, in this age of Kali, he descends as the holy name. We can say that Krishna is not coming here in this age of Kali Yuga. He just left us here to just drown in the ocean of material suffering. But it's not like that. Lord Chaitanya comes himself. Despite he is a Chan avatar, he's like hidden avatar. It's when someone comes up to him and says to him, "You're the God," he says, No, I'm a devotee. Just he's giving us an example, just to beat up all this Mayavada, that no one can says that, well, Lord Chaitanya said himself that he's God, so I'm also can do that. Not to give the rascals a chance to claim their God himself, who descends here from the spiritual sky. We've got such an avatar in Vrindavan. He built, I will not chant his name, will not say his name, mention his name here. But he has got fabulous, magnificent temple with a lot of marble there, millions of dollars are put there. And he claims himself that this Lord Chaitanya who came 500 years ago, he's not Lord Chaitanya. I am the origin. I'm the origin Lord Chaitanya. And right opposite to his temple in Vrindavan, there is a billboard. I think it's ISKCON devotees made it. And it said there, the one who is not accepted Harinama Diksha in any of four sampradayas is a cheater. It's just a kick on the face on this avatar. And also this temple, all the temples and the Angrezi Mandir, Krishna Balaram temple, ISKCON temple, he's in this circle of the Parikram mark. When the devotees are honoring the Vrindavan, they make this circumambulation. They are making this parikrama, and this temple is outside this parikrama. So it's a board of Vrindavan. It's not in Vrindavan actually. But still it's in Raj. So what we can do? Nowadays Raj is just goes down, just like the light of Vrindavan is become less and less. And sometimes people are coming there and they say, we just suspected to see here some woods, some forest of Vrindavana, but we can see here concrete forest, just so many buildings. So, yes, let us speak something about today's verse. So, the essence that I think I gave my previous class, it was the same topic, that the benedictions of demigods, they are temporary, and they are, if to like to see them from position of shreyas, we can say it's not a benediction at all. From other side, the benedictions of Supreme Personality of Godhead, of Vishnu or Krishna himself, are real benedictions. Sometimes the Lord gives us some material benefits, benedictions, that we can use them in His service. So this is like safe sense gratification. So we are using, our senses are in touch with this object of our senses, but it's safe because we are using it in engaging it in service to Krishna. So we are like, how do you call it in English? Killing two rabbits? Or how you told me this phrase? Uh, yeah, exactly. Killing two goats with one stone. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. That's better. At least at vegetarian. Yes, I just thought about this phrase and I just thought, my God, that's so pure. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, and in verse it said that a pure devotee who is fully accomplished in this science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him on such activities. Such a devotee is like experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if patient desires it. So sometimes someone can say that I want this or I want that, but the expert physician, he will never give him that. He said, no, no, no. This will have just this will not help you. Just try the opposite. It's gonna like break your health. So please don't do that. Because he's conscious about it. But the person who, for example, wants to eat something which is injurious to his health, he just says, oh, what is gonna happen? It's nothing. I just eat it and just what's gonna happen? It's nothing. I just want to eat it. And I'm free to eat it. I'm a free person. So free means to do what you want, yeah? No, but the expert, the one who has got an experience, he says that no, you're gonna suffer, you're gonna die if you eat it. It's gonna be bad for you. Don't do that. And your freedom is like to obey and to accept it. Otherwise, you're gonna die. You're gonna break your health. You're gonna just have disease. So yeah, Srila Prabhupada says here in purport, it's such a nice big purport, but we unfortunately have no time to read it fully. We will just mention something. Here's the difference between the benedictions awarded by the demigods and those awarded by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Devotees of demigods ask for benedictions simply for sense gratification, and therefore they have been described in Bhagavad Gita as a breath of intelligence. In the end of purport, Srila Prabhupada again says that the one who is asking for material benediction of the demigods, he is considered a fool with a small quantity of brain substance. I'm sorry, it's said in Shastra. I'm just reading. So yes, the one who is just asking for for some material benedictions and not addressed to the Supreme Lord, but to demigods. He's a real person who has got no brain, actually, because these benedictions will be like they will hit themselves who asking for that benediction. This benediction is not eternal and not bring us to the ultimate goal. And they're temporary. And the one who is giving this benediction also is temporary, the demigod. Just it's so like symbolical, yes. It's very like it's a deep philosophy in it. But if we are asking for the benediction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, of Lord Vishnu, and we are devotees, we are claiming ourselves as a devotees of Lord, Lord will like see on us. He will look at us and he will just consider is this benediction will be real benefit to this person or not. And if it's not, then he will not give it to him. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said that Lord said that this fool Murkha, he is asking me for some temporary material benefit. But Lord said, but I'm not Murkha. I'm not a fool. I'm not going to give him such a benediction which will harmful to him. Better I take all of his properties of him and just give him the shelter of my lotus feet. And when he will taste my lotus feet, he will surrender and be as happy as he never was. Something like that in my interpretation. Just it's got such a word in Chaitanya verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according of their own natures. It's a verse of 7:20 of Bhagavad Gita. Conditioned souls are generally bereft on intelligence because of profound desires for sense gratification. They do not know what benediction to ask. Therefore, non-devotees are advised in Shastras to worship various demigods to achieve material benefits. For example, if one wants a very beautiful life, he advised to worship Uma or goddess Durga. If one wants to be cured of disease, he advised to worship the sun god. All requests for benedictions from demigods, however, are due to material lust. The benedictions will be finished at the end of the cosmic manifestation, along with those who bestow them. If one approaches Lord Vishnu for benedictions, the Lord will give him a benediction that will help him return home back to Godhead. Because Lord is intelligent, he's clever, he's not stupid. This is also confirmed by Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. Tisham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yanamam upayantite. Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna instructs a devotee who constantly engages in his service how to approach him in the end of his material body. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karmachame divyam yavam yaveti tatvataha tyakvam deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving his body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is benediction of Lord Vishnu Krishna. After giving up his body, a devotee returns home back to Godhead. A devotee may foolishly ask for material benedictions, but Lord Krishna doesn't give him such benedictions despite the devotee prayers. So even devotee can ask. So what's the real benediction of Lord? He says himself in Bhagavad Gita, yeah? He says that I'm enlightening him from the inside. I'm giving his brain enough to come up to me in the end of my life. And I'm giving him enough brain to to reach, to know really what is the transcendental nature of his experience and activities. It's not easy to how to say, how to understand Lord's appearance and activities. We might think that, oh yeah, I've read Bhagavad Gita, so I know. But it's not like that. It's really something very deep. And one who really knows the pastimes of Lord and his nature and the nature of his appearance and disappearance, this one is gonna never die. That's the secret how to become immortal, how to become eternal. And because if you really know, then it means you are observed in these pastimes. It means you are really there in spiritual world, despite you've given this material body. In that case, you are one of the associates of the Lord. That means you're not gonna never die, despite this body dies. So yes, that's the real benediction of Lord. So that Lord gives us the real benediction. And then Srila Prabhupada said that a devotee may foolishly ask for material benedictions, but Lord Krishna doesn't give him such benedictions despite the devotee's prayers. Therefore, people who are very attached to material life do not generally become devotees of Krishna or Vishnu. That's quite logical, yes. Instead, they become devotees of the demigods, kamaista hritagyan prapadyante nyadevataha. This is the verse quoted again by Srila Prabhupada, which we've got on the beginning of the purport. The benedictions of demigods, however, are condemned in Bhagavad Gita. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. On this optimistic note, we will end. And maybe one small, tiny question. Mataji was first.
The nature of the souls to be eternal and to fall on these different aspects, not like this worship demigods or materialism or so on, is this but anyway the nature of the soul is eternal. So what would be the direct worshipping of Krishna, some sort of like to avoid falling in same roads of samsara and like perpetuating that longer than it's necessary. But in like we still have the choice to choose, like if we do not go there, then what we are doing to us is just to stay longer and longer on these material different realms. And does it then the soul becomes, when it's born, for example, does it's born like with like a neutral state, and then it goes engaging on these more material dimensions, and like it's like it goes like from zero and then goes, oh, I'm gonna worship a little bit this material thing or whatever, and then that ties him more on the next incarnation. And then like it's like it goes following a road where it goes getting more and more involved in the material worlds or an illusion. And then, for example, in not all worlds it is possible to reach this Krishna consciousness. Is this like a more blessed dimension or world by having this chance? It's a big question, sorry. It was like it came out.
Okay, I thought it was an. Okay, I thought it wasn't question. Okay, so it's question. Yeah. So generally, our philosophy is that soul is eternal, and it's connected with Krishna, but we forgot about it, and we've got the choice. We can live our material life without Krishna, and some pious people who are really rare nowadays, where you will gonna find these Vedic karmis, pious, who are performing all these yagas and worshipping demigods. It's not such a common thing. It's quite rare. But yes, so where there is the Vedic path, so you can live your life without Krishna, just maybe, yes. And you're worshipping the demigods, you're achieving some material benefits, life after life, and you are like bound to this samsara in this case. And from other side, you get this choice to worship Krishna directly. And the secret is that by your karma, you will achieve everything the same. Actually, you're achieving the same benefits, material benefits, as if you're worshipping demigods. But that's why actually Srila Prabhupada says that this is really foolish. Because in that case, in the end, you are reaching the samsara. Actually, yes, how you said. And from other hand, if you are worshipping Krishna, you get the same happiness, the same distress, but from the side of Krishna, with the connection of Krishna.
No, or on losing these things. But if you go more to Krishna, then you will be realizing something different than that. When that can happen, like in through many lifetimes, like if you get closer at once to Krishna, but then maybe you are like, okay, it was there, and then but that in some point makes that in the next life you also have. It's more possible that it will come closer to does anyone has like feels more like a remembrance of other life while it comes to the Hare Krishnas now? It feels like, oh, I think I had known about this before or something.
Yeah. It's like it depends on us. That's up to us. It's our choice. How long it will take us. So, how many? Yeah.
Srila Krishna says in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that someone who's performed devotional service in one life, Krishna will remind them at some stage in their next life. Krishna will remind them in some way in their heart that they've performed that devotional service in a previous life, and they'll be given an opportunity to take it up again. But Krishna won't force the person, but he'll give them some. They'll feel something in their heart that, oh, what I'm doing is a waste of time. I should actually be trying to find somebody who knows the answer to life. I should find someone who's like really sincere. I should look for like a community of people, where they're actually really searching for the truth, where they're really like trying to live without any violence to others, something like that. So that there's 2 or 3 verses in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 6. I think it's like verses 30, 35, 30. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't remember. But anyway, you can have a look. We can show.
Yeah, but we're not going to stop on this point.
Okay. But anyway, we can show later. We can show.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. We have a question from online from a dear friend of ours called Eamon. He's asking, Haribol!
Hare Krishna, Amen, Prabhu.
He's asking, Hare Krishna, excuse my ignorance, but how do you define demigod?
Oh, wow. Demigod is the same living being as us, the same soul, but he's embodied in such body. He's but in such body, which is much more powerful than ours, and like from other type of matter, and more intelligent and more powerful, and he can manage the universal activities, such as, for example, rain or something even more. Yes, and demigod means one who is empowered. He has got power from Supreme Lord, but he is not God himself. Yes, I think that's the good definition. Does this make sense? Yeah.
Just Hare Krishna. So you were saying, how when Krishna shows you special mercy, he kind of takes everything away, and it's a benediction of him. So ultimately, you get Krishna, which is ultimately what we need. But when you're going through it, it can be quite, doesn't feel like benediction. How to kind of go through that in a more kind of friendly way and less traumatizing. Do you have any advice?
So you mean that sometimes you're feeling like if there is no material benediction, that is like no benediction at all, yes? Oh,
I mean, ultimate benediction is when Krishna is really showing mercy to you, and Prabhupada says that, and he says in his own life exemplified, then Krishna takes everything away. And when you're going through that experience, it doesn't feel like benediction. It's traumatizing. So yes. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, the question is how to cope with the situation that you're going through this. I mean, theoretically, no, it's benediction, but it doesn't feel like it.
yeah. Can I just share you? Maybe it's a speculation, but that's my experience anyway. Just Krishna will never give you such a examination while you are not ready. Krishna will give you sometimes even material benediction, just to make you feeling like comfort and friendly to him, that you will trust him. While you're not on this level, he will never like take it off all your properties. So we don't need to worry about that so much. Krishna is on my stage, on my level. He's like much more giving me like, than just taking off from me. I can see that he's like giving so much things. Sometimes you just capture yourself. You realize that some years ago you were like praying for that, and now it's came. And you're thinking, I don't need this anymore. It's just a nonsense. I was just asking for Lord. Just why didn't I ask for Krishna Prema? I'd be in the spiritual world now. Yes. Yeah. And this is the yes. And when we realize that, we are just becoming on the step a little bit higher. Next time we will not gonna ask Lord for such a benediction. Yeah. Because we've got an experience. It's something not valuable, non-valuable, some nonsense we're asking from Lord. So that's how Lord teaches us. And the ultimate thing, yes, ultimate goal, that we are coming up to this stage that we are asking Him that, dear Lord, just you may take everything from me. Just now I don't need this anymore. Just I need only you and the love of you. That's all I need. So, and it can be, we can come up to this gradually, maybe not just in like today, giving up all this, but Srila Prabhupada shows us the ultimate goal just right now. He says that better you just right now give it all up and just ask for ultimate benefit. But Lord just never will do it like, never will commit this violence just to force us to do something. He's facilitating, he's showing us, he's teaching us, but never like making violence. Sometimes it seems like that, but it's not like that. Times pass and we can see that it wasn't like that. It was for my benefit actually. It was for my happiness, for the time being happy. Does this answers? Yeah, we should end on this, and we should read, yes, about Vaishnava shares. Yes, I'm sorry. Just I thought Shri Krishna Prabhu wanted to read this about. Usually he reads, yes. No? Yeah. Okay. This is the Disappearance Day of two acharyas, Bhagavatam Goswami. He's not mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but he was the original, even before 6 Goswamis. That's why he's called Bhugarbha. He was sitting in the cave with his deity of, how I can remember, Gopal, I think. And he was just praying to him. And Gopal was like manifest to him some pastimes. Yes, he was the original Brijabasi. A disciple of Sri Gadadhara Pandita, Sri Bhugarbha Goswami shared intimate friendship with Lokanatha Goswami. And also, Lokanath Goswami is almost nothing mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. They both asked Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami not mention their names there. Inspired by Lord Chaitanya, they were first and most senior devotees to settle in Vrindavan. Before the arrival of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami, they tried to uncover the lost holy places of Radha Govinda's pastimes. They found these places by the humble method of surrender. They simply wandered around Vrindavan, calling out the names of 12 forests, Bandiravan, Kamyavan, Mahavan, Talavan, and Srimati Vrinda Devi revealed the exact location of each and every forest. It's to the question of our ultimate benediction, yes. What we should ask of, yes. It is told that to avoid material distractions, Bhugarbha would perform his bhajan underground. So he received the name Bhugarbha. Bhu means earth and Garbha means cave, womb, hiding place. He is Prema Manjari of Bhadra Rehika in Krishna Lila. Or Bhadra Rehika. Prema Manjari or Bhadra Rehika in Krishna Lila. Shri Bhugarbha Goswami ki. And also we've got the Disappearance Day of Kashishwara Pandit. Shri Ishwarapuri sent his disciples, Govinda and Kashishwara Pandit, to Jagannath Puri to humbly serve Lord Chaitanya. Reluctant to accept service from his godbrothers, Sri Chaitanya finally agreed since it was his guru's wish. Kashishwara Pandit, who was strong and powerfully built, used to walk before Lord Chaitanya, keeping the crowds from touching him. After kirtans, he would serve prasadam to all the devotees. This is Kashishwara Pandit. Big, huge, strong. He was like a guard of Lord Chaitanya. And after kirtans, he was serving prasadam. Shri Gaurasundara asked Kashishwara to move to Vrindavan for worshipping Sri Rupa Goswami, deity of Govindaji. Fearing separation from Lord Chaitanya, Kashishwara said, "My Lord, if I must give up your association, my heart will split in two." Out of compassion for his devotee, Lord Gaurasundara, Gaurachandra, gave him a deity of himself so perfectly formed it exactly resembled the Lord. Gaura Govinda is his name. The deity is golden form of Krishna playing his flute. Then Kashishwara Pandit happily went to Vrindavan to serve Gaura Govinda and Govindaji. Today the original deities of Gaura Govinda and Govindaji are in Jaipur. Shri Kashishwara Pandit ki. All glories to assembled devotees. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.